Hello, career warriors. Ever feel like your salary hasn't kept up with your hustle? What if I told you a few simple questions in an interview could add $10,000 to your annual income? Today, we're revealing top 10 ways to negotiate your salary like a pro, backed by Harvard studies, sprinkled with real-life wins, and guaranteed to make you rethink your next paycheck. Hit that like button, subscribe if you're new, and let's turn "I'll think about it" into "Yes, I'll take it, and I want more." Oh, and don't miss number 9. It's tied to Nobel Prize-winning research on confidence. Let's go. 1. Do your research. Know your worth like a boss. Let's start with the foundation, research. You wouldn't walk into a car dealership blindfolded, right? Same goes for salary negotiations. A Harvard Business Review study found people who researched industry standards negotiated 25% higher salaries than those who winged it. Here's my ritual. Before interviews, I use PayScale, LinkedIn Salary Insights, and even Reddit threads to benchmark my value. When I applied for my last job, I discovered women in my role earned 15% less than men. Armed with that data, I walked in and said, industry standard is 80K. I'd love to start there. Result? Offered 82Ks. Science snack. Anchoring bias works in your favor. Start high, let them lower it. Pro tip. If the job posting says negotiable, assume you can push 10 to 20% above the listed range. Number 2, practice your pitch. Rehearse until it feels natural. Raise your hand if you've ever frozen during a negotiation. Practice makes perfect. A Journal of Applied Psychology study found rehearsing your pitch reduced anxiety by 50%. My wake-up call. I botched my first negotiation by mumbling, "I guess, whatever you offer?" Big mistake. Now, I practice in front of a friend or record myself. One viewer wrote, "I practiced 10 times and nailed my call. 10K or raise." Science snack. Mirror neurons fire when you practice aloud, tricking your brain into thinking it's real. Pro tip. Use the STAR method. Situation, task, action, result. Example. At my last job, I increased sales by 30% by specific action. I'd love to bring that impact here. 3. Don't say "I deserve." Frame it as partnership. Here's a subtle but game-changing tweak. Replace "I deserve" with "I'd love to discuss how my skills align with the company's goals." A negotiation journal experiment found collaborative framing boosted success rates by 40%. Here's why. Companies care about ROI, not ego. When I asked for a raise at my old job, I said, "I'd love to discuss how my role can evolve to deliver even more value." Result? Got 15% more. Science snack. Mirror the employer's language, e.g., "I understand the company values innovation. Here's how I can contribute." Pro tip, avoid ultimatums. "I'll leave if I don't get it." They trigger defensiveness. 4. Let them say the number first. Play the silence game. The classic power move. Let them name the number first. A MIT Sloan study found employers offer 10 to 15% more than candidates would have asked for. Here's where it gets personal. During my last job offer, I stayed silent after the recruiter said, "We're thinking 70K. I paused, smiled, and said, "That's a great starting point. I was hoping for $80. Result? They agreed. Science snack. Silence triggers discomfort. They'll often fill it with a better offer. Pro tip, if they stall, say, "I'd love to hear what your typical range is for this role." 5. Use the sandwich method. Compliment, ask, reinforce. Here's the recipe. Start with praise, ask for the raise, end with gratitude. A Forbes survey found this approach boosted success rates by 60%. My ritual. I love what this company stands for. Based on my research, I'd like to propose $85. I'm confident I can deliver even more value here. One viewer wrote, "I used the sandwich method and got a $12 bump." Science snack. The brain loves reciprocity. When you give them a compliment, they're wired to return the favor. Pro tip. If they say no, ask, "What would make this possible in 6 months?" 6. Bundle your ask. Add bonuses, PTO, or remote flexibility. Negotiating salary isn't just about the number. A Stanford Graduate School study found bundling perks increase satisfaction by 70%. Here's my hack. If they won't budge on base pay, ask for a signing bonus, extra vacation days, or remote work. When I negotiated my current role, I said, "I'm flexible on salary if we can add a $2 sign-on bonus and Fridays off." Result? They agreed. Science snack. Non-monetary perks reduce burnout and increase loyalty. Pro tip. Prioritize what you value most: flexibility, training, or equity. 7. Walk away gracefully. The art of the maybe. Sometimes the best move is to walk, but leave the door open. A negotiation journal experiment found candidates who said, "This doesn't align with my market value, but I'd love to revisit in 6 months," got better offers later. Here's my story. I once walked out of a job offer that lowballed me. 2 weeks later, they called back with a 20% increase. "We realized we couldn't lose you," they said. Science snack. Scarcity increases perceived value. Walking away signals you're in demand. Pro tip. Don't burn bridges. Say, "I'll keep you in mind for future roles." 8. Use Wii Language. Teamwork over demands. Phrasing matters. A University of Chicago study found using we instead of I increased yeses by 35%. Here's how. We're building a team that values top talent. I'd love to discuss compensation that reflects that. One viewer wrote, "I said, we both want a win-win and got my dream offer." Science snack. The brain hates confrontation. Collaborative language reduces resistance. Pro tip. Pair with body language. Open palms, eye contact, and leaning forward. Leverage the Nobel Prize hack, confidence boosters. Okay, this one's gold. Nobel Prize-winning research on power. Posing found standing tall for 2 minutes before negotiations boosted testosterone by 20% and cortisol by 15%, making you feel unstoppable. When I had a big negotiation, I did the Wonder Woman pose in the bathroom. Result? I spoke clearly, not nervously. One viewer wrote, "I power posed and got a $15 raise." Science snack. Fake it till you make it. Your brain believes the act. Pro tip. Practice in the mirror before calls. 10. Follow up in writing. Seal the deal. Never leave a negotiation without a follow-up. A Harvard Business Review case study found written summaries reduced miscommunication by 80%. Here's my ritual. After a call, I send a quick note. "Thank you for the offer. I'd love to discuss moving the base to $80 and adding a 5% bonus. Looking forward to your thoughts." One friend got a $5 bump after a follow-up email. Science snack. Writing reinforces commitment. The Ben Franklin effect makes employers favor people who've asked for favors, like a revised offer. Pro tip. Be polite but firm. Which tip will you use in your next negotiation? Let me know in the comments. I love hearing your wins. Smash that subscribe button if you're ready to own your worth, and tap the bell so you never miss a tip. Until next time, remember, your value isn't a secret. Shout it loud and proud.